Alright guys, welcome to Hollywood Mechanic. Today we are talking about something that's going to be a little controversial, and I expect that, but it's okay. I just want to say up front, I'm not an expert on lithium-ion batteries. I am an electrical specialist. However, as far as the technology on the batteries, I am not as familiar, but I am seeing a lot of problems. So let's just go ahead and talk about that. Right here we have a beautiful, very low mileage Ferrari FF, immaculately maintained. Less than 12,000 miles, and we've got 3 control modules here that have needed to be replaced. We had an intermittent no start condition that was diagnosed by another shop as being the engine control modules. They replaced and recoded that. The problem is gone. I am having a gearbox fault that happens only on deceleration in 3rd gear, and it says clutch pressure control fault. Spent many hours testing it, testing the wiring, the pressure sensor. We rebuilt the gearbox. It was a new sensor. And then he brought, we went and looked at the battery, and what do we have? We have an anti-gravity lithium-ion battery. Now, anti-gravity is not the bad guy here. The problem lies in it's a lithium-ion battery. Now, let's just go ahead and talk about that briefly here. Let's just read the warnings right off of the battery itself. Let's see. Do not install in a high heat area in motorsports. Do not install next to the exhaust manifold. Guess where this one's installed? Do not charge over 14.6 volts. Your car sometimes will charge up to 15 volts. Do not charge using over 200 or 20 amps. I don't know if you know what the rating of the alternator is on an FF, but I believe it's over 200 amps. Do not short circuit the battery. Obviously, do not or only use a 12.8 volt lithium iron phosphate lithium specific charger. That's where we're having an issue. Now, this is anti-gravity. This is what they say. Let's they go on to say a lot more about it. I would highly encourage you go to anti-gravity's website and read some of the warnings that it has, including the storage temperature needs to be never exceeding 176 degrees Fahrenheit under any circumstance. Go back and watch my engine bay cooling video, and you'll see that this thing reaches over 280 degrees when you come to a stoplight. And I know what you're thinking. There's heat shields. It doesn't matter. The battery's in a blanket that, when subjected to post 200 degree temperatures for long enough, everything inside the blanket will reach an equilibrium temperature with the outside environment. Okay, it says this battery can only be charged by a CCCV battery charger. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Using the wrong battery charger could result in a fire, explosion, which could lead to injury, death, or property damage. The operating temperature, it's safe to operate between 23 degree Fahrenheit and 140 degree Fahrenheit. Best case scenario, when you're moving and air is flowing and it's not a hot day, is 140. That's your lowest temperature that this engine bay gets to. Charging, it says only charge up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go ahead and go over to Optima's website. Optima has been known for performance batteries for a long time. They now make the orange top, and they say here, also only charge using 12 volt lithium iron phosphate batteries. The charger profile should be a CCCV, or constant current, constant voltage. The charge profile should operate at between 14.3 and 14.5 volts and discontinue output when the battery is fully charged. If you exceed the maximum charging limits of the battery, it will cause damage. Once the battery is fully charged, you must stop charging the battery. Something else that they say is that power sport batteries are designed for engine starting in power sport applications, including side-by-sides, motorcycles, and four-wheelers, and they are not warranted for automotive use. Furthermore, it says power sport batteries have a high cranking power but low capacity and energy storage when compared to typical automotive batteries, so it is not recommended for high-demand audio vehicles or applications with high accessory loads. Now, your vehicle has high accessory loads if it's a performance vehicle. When I plug in the Aventador SVJ or the Huracan to the Otis system, if I start up the system and I do not have a charger connected to the car, the key is on, but the engine is off. And it will tell me, hey, is a proper charger connected because you have a discharge rate from the battery of 15.5 amps or 18 amps. It's very high, very close to that 20 amp limit. And that's with the car off. That's with no fuel pumps running, no clutch pump, no PTU pump, as in the case of the FF. So you're very, very close to the discharge limit, and the battery has its intelligent battery monitoring system that will disable the battery in case of over temperature, overcharge, either voltage or current, over discharge, either via current. So you've got a lot of ways for the battery to remove itself from the system. And why is that bad, Micah? We have an alternator. Who cares if the battery disables itself? The problem with the alternator is it is not able to provide a stable voltage and current supply with the changing needs of the car. The PTU pump cycles on for a few seconds with a high amp and then cycles off. Any auto shift manual vehicle does the same thing. It has a pump and an accumulator system. The pump cycles on and off to build pressure to enable shifts and clutch operation. These types of load changes, cooling fans being turned on, turned off, these are not able to be fully absorbed by the alternator. It takes some time to adjust, and that's where your battery comes into play. Not only that, but some alternators are designed to stop charging under full throttle acceleration so that you give maximum power to the engine and then reinitiate the charging on a deceleration. So if you are disconnecting your alternator from the system then, or removing the charge, and suddenly the discharge rate exceeds what the battery is rated for, you've got a serious problem with your control modules, with your car running. And as far as, this is not even considering that your car has a battery monitor system in it that's designed with a charging profile for an AGM, and that charge profile conflicts with what the battery monitoring system within the lithium-ion battery will allow. And those two do not play well together. There's a reason that it says charge only with a lithium-ion specific charger. This constant current, constant voltage profile charges the battery up to a certain state and then removes the charge. If you do not do that, you damage the battery, and more than likely, you're going to cause it to be disabled, causing problems with your car. Now, I'm not the only one. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer and say, hey, you know, you've solved your constant replacement of AGMs with the lithium ion, and I'm a hater. It's taking money out of my pocket. I don't care. As a matter of fact, we're adding a cooling system to the engine bay. We're moving batteries to the trunk to remove them from that high heat source. But just think about it. You're going through AGM batteries because of the high heat. So then you put in a battery that's even more sensitive to high temperatures. And if it catches on fire, you cannot put it out. It will burn up, and it's located within a very tight space right next to the fuel lines. You cannot get that out. You will say goodbye to that car if it catches on fire. And a lot of people are saying, hey, we run them, we have no problems. Okay, great. I hear you. I don't see it. We do a lot of gearbox rebuilds. We send them to clients. We rebuild the gearbox here and send them to clients. They get them calibrated at a Ferrari dealership or a reputable shop that can fully calibrate the gearbox control module. And then a month later, hey, when I come to a stoplight, I get the red light. What's going on? Sounds like maybe an electrical issue that might be related to your battery. Do you have a good battery? Oh yeah, I put in a lithium ion. It's been there for about 6 months, runs great. Take it out. Take it out and put an AGM in there and go back to the dealer and have it recalibrated again, because sometimes that will resolve the issue. Sometimes it doesn't, and you're ended up replacing control modules. And call any Ferrari dealer, any Lamborghini dealer, talk to the master techs and say, hey, I'm having some weird electrical issues and it's got an anti-gravity battery in it or a lithium ion battery. They will all tell you, get it out. Put the AGM in the car. Register the proper AGM into the battery monitoring system and then retest. And it's not even just the techs. Look at Lamborghini. Lamborghini Urus used to come with a lithium-ion battery. Now they've discontinued that. They sell a AGM conversion kit to switch it back to AGM. And McLaren's on their 3rd generation of starting batteries for the 570S. They have had problem after problem. I've made a video showing how you can access your car when the battery dies and the window doesn't roll down, which people commented, Micah, this is stupid. This is a dumb video. The driver's side window automatically rolls down when the battery gets low, and then the car turns its battery off so that it has a reserve charge. You just need to get back in the car and key. But below that comment, you'll see comment after comment of, thank you, bro. I got locked out of my car. My car won't go to sleep. The battery keeps draining. My car rolled down the passenger window instead of the driver window, so I still can't get into the vehicle. Like, it is astounding to me how many problems come up with these lithium-ion batteries, and people keep ignoring it and using them. Stop putting them in your car. If you want to use a lithium-ion battery, wait till the technology progresses a little bit better, or wait till they have a software update that you can switch a lithium-ion battery in. And no matter what, don't put it next to the exhaust or in an engine bay that's going over 200 degrees Fahrenheit.